Oh, welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where every episode we sync 1973's magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. That one's by Pink Floyd. 2. Every movie ever made. My goodness, what a mad quest. I, of course, am James Barron, famed podcaster extraordinaire, and joining me, as always, is Gareth. Hello, Gareth.
Hello! Do
There
you
he
think
is.
we can keep these voices afloat for an entire episode?
Oh, by
Losing
Jove.
all the listeners we gained when I bought a Facebook ad for the last episode.
Oh, absolutely. Welcome, foolish peasants. Oh, man, no. Well, I'm not going to do
We
it.
both
Hey,
need to go, whoa!
in order to get to the voice, that's the key.
Oh, well, welcome, folks. Those of you still listening, welcome to Sync Floyd. And this week, we're strapping on our swords and sandals and taking a trip to 1963 because we watched Jason and the Argonauts. James, what did you think of this movie?
Mate, this movie is a lot of fun. It is fantasy as hell, as we've said many times on the show. This is put it in the category of fantasy as hell. It's a lot of fun. It is it's adventure. It's a lot of people talking in silly voices, which I appreciate. There's way too much money spent on really dumb things, which is also great. Oh,
yeah.
it's just a fun time. Yeah. What are your thoughts on old Jason and his adventures?
Well, I chose this because of its iconic final 2 minutes. And I'd completely forgotten. I used to be such a Greek myth boy. Like, I'd always borrow the exact same book from my school library. It was bright purple and it had a big Hydra on the cover guarding the golden fleece.
Hell yeah.
That we're going to come to know.
Sounds awesome.
And hissing at the audience. And then inside it'll tell you all about your favorite Greek myths. And I loved it. And I was an expert on Greek myths right up until probably when people started doing classics, like in high school and uni. And then they just dunked on me entirely. So
No.
this kind of just brought up stress of me not having studied for classics.
No. Transportative. Back to the past. The classic past.
Yeah.
In multiple ways. Oh no.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't too harrowing a quest for you, Gareth, to delve back into those memories.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, names of the characters have slipped me completely, just in the same way any school subject would these days. I remember Jason, because that's the only name that seemed to make it into modern Western society. And Medea.
Yeah, right.
Partially because I'm aware of the play about her, but mostly because I thought it was the same name as Tyler Perry's character. Which it's not. It's very spelled different.
Spelled very different. I only know Medea is Medea is the healing spell from Final Fantasy VII. So,
oh,
yeah.
We're both approaching the character from the other angle.
I'm also a big fan of old Greek myths, though. Like, I don't have like as extensive a history knowledge as going to high school classics would grant a person, but I do enjoy a bit of Greek myth, and rest assured that I think I have all the character names in my notes, so we should be good.
Oh, good. So we don't have to call this one guy Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
which is what I wrote
we
down.
still could. There's still time.
Okay.
All right. Shall we get into the magnum opus and how it's synced up with this movie that came out 10 years before? So honestly, this is like a pretty high candidate for syncing, right? Like the fact that it came out so...
Yeah, odds are Pink Floyd saw it.
Yeah, right? There's a chance. Let's do it. All right, speak to me. Opening titles, you know the drill. The opening titles to this movie are like printed as if they are on a big brass sculpture or something. They look like etched into stuff. They also kind of look, the font choice kind of reminds me of the Flintstones in a weird way, which
Yeah.
I think they used the same fonts, but the Greeks were doing it before the Flintstones. I feel like this is just the font that they came up with. So it's fair enough.
Well, technically the Flintstones characters would have been doing it before the Greeks.
Oh, well, yeah.
But we don't have to get into
it's difficult.
Fictional timeline.
Yeah, give me the timeline of fonts, listeners. Anyway, yeah. So we're seeing these...
I reckon if this was in... if this was in the same universe as the Flintstones, we would have totally had a character like a harpy turn to the camera and go like, hey, it's a living. And then we'll know who invented that font.
Yeah, thank goodness. He's just there with a little chisel. Little harpy chisel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, we go into Breathe over these credits as well, and it's not really much to report. There's like nice etchings of like giant squids and krakens and beasts and things like that. Dudes in chariots, just Greek things, classic times.
Just Greek things.
Just Greek things. Hashtag just Greek things. We're getting so we go from this to a prophecy from a character who has no name that I'm aware of, but at this stage, but I, in my notes, call Prophecy Guy because he's always just laying down prophecies. This one's for Pelias, who is antagonist, I guess. He's a bad dude. Taking over Greece, taking over Thessaly, a city in Greece. And yeah, he's asking for a prophecy about this battle where he's taking over Thessaly, if he's going to win and all this stuff. Doesn't care about what the prophecy boy is talking about. He's going on about a golden fleece and bringing peace to the land, and he's like, "Shut up! Do I win the war or come on?" He says, "Yes, you win, but not for long. You'll be killed." And then by the son of the king of Thessaly, he'll come back and kill you. And you're like, what? And it's like, well, they have 3 children. There are 2 daughters and a son, Jason. And you're like, oh, okay. And he's not stoked about this. So Pelias goes down to murder everyone. We go into... do we go into On the Run for this? Yeah, we do. For this, like, really dark battle.
Chaos starts just raining, yeah. There's fire, there's just people screaming. It's actually, for its time, like, a pretty good way to show that, like, battles were pretty messy and gross and, like,
pretty fucked
nasty.
up, yeah. Like, it's also shot, like, in, like, pitch darkness, basically. It's very difficult to actually see. I think, like, maybe it's just, like, smoke and ash just filling the space. But yeah, it's scary stuff. Anyway, a lady runs into the temple and prays to Hera to protect her child. She's the queen, obviously. And I think this is one of the daughters. There's a little baby on the statue of Hera that she puts up there.
I thought that might have been Jason, but
I don't know.
The baby didn't turn to us and introduce itself, so it's the baby's
fault.
It's hard
to say. Yeah, baby's busy on Hera's knee. And so Pelias comes in and is like, "Are you the queen?" And she's like, "Yes." And then he like murders her, saying that it's the will of Zeus, because Zeus was the dude given the prophecy earlier to old prophecy boy.
Yeah.
And anyway, murders this person, and then there's a priestess who appears in the background and like scolds him, being like, "This is not the will of Zeus. You have acted out of order, and you'll be betrayed, and you'll die." And Pelias is like, "Fuck, okay, I didn't know that. Why did Zeus trick me?" And then she says, "Beware the one-sandaled man," which is another prophecy. I really enjoy Polias, the actor who plays Polias here. I think he played Sherlock Holmes before this. He's got a very good face.
Oh.
It just has...
Yes, absolutely. He looks like he's carved out of stone.
Yeah, definitely. Got that Greek look. But yeah, he's a very intense, crazy man kind of vibe throughout this, and I very much enjoy him. Yeah. And we get the crash sound over his like realization that this was not the will of Zeus, and now he's has to be wary of this sandaled person who's going to come and stop him. And also the priestess lets him know that if he kills Jason, he kills himself, which is strange, equitable. Like, it's a weird situation there. Yeah. I don't really know how that works. The Greek gods are like real intense.
No further details given.
Yeah, they just intervene in the lives of mortals a hell of a lot and sort of play around. Yeah. We go we go up to Mount Olympus and we see the gods like all chilling out here.
Yeah.
We see Hera. Hera was the priestess who was talking to Polias earlier, and Zeus. The person they got to play Zeus is just like this, like portly, friendly-looking dude, who's just like tired and kind of bored.
He looks like. He looks like if Russell Crowe never became famous and like things didn't go that great, and he got one last acting gig.
Yeah, it does. Oh, what a sweet guy. I like him a lot.
Russell Crowe is lined up to play Zeus in the upcoming Thor movie, apparently. So
whoa.
Dreams do come true to Russells who wait. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm interested in finding out what that'll be like, honestly. Like, I'm quietly quite excited for that. Man, Russell Crowe.
I haven't been excited for a Russell Crowe in a while.
It's true. It takes a lot for me to get excited about Russell Crowe. But yeah.
Russell stopped listening.
Oh, I'm sorry, Russell. And I apologize. Just send your grievances to syncfloydpod@gmail.com and we'll address them on air. Yeah, so...
Yeah.
We've got Zeus here, portly, friendly boy, just like watching the proceedings down in the pool. He's like, I gave Polias the throne, but he refused my demand that he lose the throne. What are mortals bloody like? They're crazy. How come he can't accept that? And Hera is pretty unsatisfied with this outcome, and she wants to help out Jason. And Zeus is like, no, that's not how things work up here. The boys look after the boys and the ladies look after the ladies, okay? That's the rules. And she's like, well, the queen of Thessaly died and she was a lady and she prayed to me 5 times. And then Zeus is like, well, you can help Jason 5 times. Then that's the deal. And yeah, Hera's like, sweet, okay. And we look...
Yeah, this is set up like it's going to be something awesome. And, like, to jump ahead, every, like, helping is quite an understatement. It's just, like...
Very minor.
A helpful tip. It's like, It's almost like... in, like, one of the more recent Pokemon games, if you forgot what you're supposed to be doing, you could ask a little friend, and he'd be like, don't forget, we're going to go talk to the old man. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's pretty much all Hera's doing for him. Is just like, hey, go to this place now. Like, I was going to think thought we could make a big thing about whether each helping she does synced or something, but it's just like, little tip, oh, now I'm gone.
Yeah. Sadly, she doesn't really offer too much. I think it's, like, on purpose that she isn't intervening a huge amount, because, like, Zeus, when he intervenes, he does a lot of stuff for people, gives them crazy boons and things like that, but demands a huge amount in return. Hera doesn't really do that. She like helps in small ways, and then doesn't ask for anything in return except prayer and devotion, I guess. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, like I see that doesn't make for a very dramatic movie when she's just like, here's a tip. Like, I see you're wanting to get the get the golden fleece. Do you need any help with that? Like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
So
she's similar to the guy who used to be on those New Zealand ads and would give you tips on how to like save a couple cents on power. She just pops in, helps you out a bit, and you worship her for the rest of your life. Like
much like we do that power ad guy.
Yeah.
I'm always crouched at his altar. Oh my god. So we cut where she looks down back at the pool, and 20 years have passed in Thessaly, and Pelaius is wandering around, very suspicious, waiting for this one-sandaled man still to strike out of nowhere. And Hera appears in the bushes and spooks his horse, sending him into the river. I don't know if this counts as one of the helps. One of the helpful tips. Maybe I think it does count as like one of her interventions.
It does. It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just spooking a horse.
Yeah.
But he gets Pelaius gets like dragged into the water by something we don't really see. But he gets saved by Jason, who appears. And in running into the water, Jason loses his sandal in the process, which is a sweet little thing. This is like a classic Greek story, right? So there's all these little takeaway images. The good thing about Greek myths is that there's a lot of symbols and things to pull from like this, like having the one sandaled man be such a serious thing, and then it happening. It's cool to see play out, you know. So loses a sandal, and Pelaius, cunning Pelaius, pretends to be somebody else, some other general type. Amazing that Jason doesn't know what he looks like, but I guess like they weren't printing people's faces on the money or whatever. I don't really know.
That's true, yeah. You had to wait like 40 weeks for a piece of pottery to get made of someone's face.
Yeah, and even then you get them from like the side, and their face is all like elongated and weird looking. They look nothing like they do in real life.
Oh man, that would have been us back in the day. Is we're just staring at vases and trying to see if it syncs up to like a local harp player.
Exactly, yeah. Just a couple of beggars on the streets of Thessaly, just like with a collection of broken pottery, just trying to bring semblance to their lives.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway, Sneaky Pelaius pretends to be someone else, and treats Jason to the hospitality of his camp, which involves a dance from just some local ladies here having a boogie.
Very much sinks and makes you feel really cool.
Yeah.
Like
he's having a good time.
I would join this camp. This camp was sweet.
It's pretty fun, yeah. He also gets a new sandal, so that he's the two-sandaled man, and therefore can do no harm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Classic. That's how you trick a prophecy. Anyway, Pelaius convinces Jason that he's got to travel to get this golden fleece of legend, like a powerful artifact, before, and then no one will be not even the gods will be able to deny that he can kill Pelaius, you know? It's like this clever ploy.
Yeah.
He'll be unstoppable. And Pelaius delivers like a really clever line, presumably from the legends, when he says, "When your father defended his throne, no man fought harder than I." And I just think that's genius, because it's true. It's really good. And yeah, so basically he's tricking Jason to travel to the ends of the earth so that he can be safe. And because if he's out there, he's not here murdering Pelaius in revenge. So good times. What did you think of Jason in general, by the way? I feel like all of his voice acting is ADR'd, but we don't really have to deal with that because we're watching it mute. So in the clean watch, I found it very jarring.
I was unconvinced. Yeah, yeah, because I had to watch the second half with the actual audio and half with the Pink Floyd, and that was when he started to fall apart for me. I was just like, you just seem like a bit of a drip, like the way they kind of make these characters in these kind of movies. It's very evident by the two Clash of the Titans movies, the original, which also had the same animator as this one. Like everyone's kind of stiff and very much like, I guess, the hero in Kroll as well.
Oh,
and then the remake, you've got your old Sam Worthington and everyone's buff and gravelly and just, again, like even less of a character. And it says a lot of the times, those two clashes.
So true.
So, not a huge Jason fan. And he never even puts on his iconic hockey mask. I was waiting for the whole movie.
They never checks the date.
Yeah.
What's going on, mate?
I was like, oh, he's on a boat, all right, he's going to start sailing to the summer camp. He never gets there.
Never gets
Deals
there.
with the fleece instead.
Oh, wow. This doesn't hold up to the canon. Yeah, anyway, so he's going to go on his quest and restore balance to Thessaly. And, there's a... while they agree on it, they like shake hands, and it's a pretty nice sync because when they shake hands, we get the tempo change in time coming in, so everything slows down once the deal is made. Happy with that. We also see Acastus, which is Pelias's son, here in the background. He's like, "What are you doing, Dad? You gonna let him go? We should just kill him." And he's like, "No, Acastus. You'll go along with them on this journey and try and kill him later." Because I'm Pelias. It's very good. Anyway, we go a bit later on. He's like wandering around the camp, and there's a destroyed statue of Hermes here, and Prophecy Boy is hanging out here talking about the gods. Jason saying that he doesn't believe in the gods because they forsook him, basically. They forsaked him. I don't know the right word. But they betrayed him and killed his family, so fair enough. I probably wouldn't enjoy praying to the gods after that. So he's like talking to Prophecy Boy, and he's like, well, follow me so that you will believe in the gods. And he moves him away into this temple, and then Prophecy Boy transforms into Hermes, the god of haste. I don't really know what Hermes is all about.
Messenger to the gods.
Yeah, messenger to the gods. He's got a winged helmet. Yeah. It's just basically his transformation consists of him getting rapidly younger, putting on a helmet, and then growing like 100 feet tall.
And then vanishing, as soon as he's grown, he's like, bye.
Yeah, classic.
It's so strange. And it syncs very well to Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to say that.
It is very nice. Jason is taken up to Mount Olympus. He's tiny up here. All the gods are like big. His size and ratio compared to them, he's probably about 6 inches tall in Olympus size. He gets taken up there, and Zeus is just playing this like board game against Hera, like moving ships and people and heroes around a big game board, I guess of reality. And Hera wins this game. She Zeus makes a move, and then she moves her ships into position to win the game. And he's like, "Oh no, Hera, you must learn to win without cheating or lose gracefully." And it's like, bro, you lost. Like, give this advice to yourself. He needs to have a chat with Narcissus, I think, about this.
Ooh. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, got him.
I love Olympus simply because of the extras, the other gods. Yeah. There's two that are just standing there, not speaking to each other, not moving, just staring at each other.
Just locked in a vision quest.
And when Jason shows up, they all then just gather around, like all these nameless gods, just to look at Jason and like be like, "Hey, we're here too."
Yeah, check out this little mortal entering our realm. What do you like, Jason? And then Zeus like offers Jason some aid on his quest. He's like, "I'll give you a ship," and Jason refuses, which is probably a good call. Zeus is notorious for making like really backhanded deals.
Yeah.
And then like completely getting out of them later. Just being a dick in general, honestly.
Yeah. The Greek gods, like they literally worshipped them, but every story they're like, man, these guys suck.
Yeah.
It's a lot like how England seem to treat their like tabloid celebrities. It's like they want to know everything, but they hate them.
Right. I would love to see a Greek news rag that's like the Sun newspaper just completely dragging Zeus. Like Zeus drunk again on the streets of Olympus. Oh my god. Get it together.
Photos of like Artemis like walking out of a cafe with sunglasses on. It's like, what has Artemis been doing?
Exactly. And she's like, I'm just out hunting. Like, obviously, guys, come on.
Hunting for divorce? A source close to Artemis says, maybe.
Oh, man. I wonder who the gossip would be. Gosh, probably Hermes.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Yeah. Dionysus,
spreading
maybe?
messages. Oh, yeah, Dionysus, definitely, yeah. Anyway, he refuses aid from Zeus because he's already got this deal going with Hera, little does he know. She gives him a clue, tells him to seek Colchis, which is spelt really weird and not at all like the word Colchis. But yeah, that's where the fleece is, and he's like, what? That's on the other side of the world. And like, he said that earlier. He said that he would travel to the other side of the world to get it, like not 2 minutes ago. But whatever.
He was hoping he wouldn't have to, and then Hera said he did, and he was like,
all right, I guess so. Anyway, he says, Zeus says, well, how are you going to do this without my help? And he's like, well, I'll convince the Greek people to help me. I'll get the best shipbuilders to build the best ship that they can because they're bloody proud to do it. And then I'll get the best athletes and men of Greece on my side by hosting a games for them to compete in, and the winners will get to come on this great quest. And Zeus is like, oh yeah, good call. All right. He's like, he says that he respects Jason and says that the gods are best served by those who want their help least, which is either very wise or very lazy. I'm not entirely sure which.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get away with saying that at work. Hey man, I'm best served by those who want my help least. What can I say?
Exactly.
Drink a frappuccino.
It's a very nice way of saying bugger off. Anyway. We go into money, and seemingly this is like the first Olympics taking place here. With everyone just hanging out, all these bros just doing sports. And we meet various members of the future Argonauts here, the team, including Hercules, who introduces himself. I love Hercules' entrance into this film because he just runs into frame and goes, "He's here!" Which is so powerful. Oh, it's just amazing. He's just a guy, like...
Yeah.
He's got a pelt on his body and a big club, and that's his deal. I love him.
Yeah, I like that we're dealing with like an older Hercules as well, who's gone through all his stories, and
he's already got all the renown.
It's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also love the performance here from this guy. It's just this like...
Yeah.
You can tell he's journeyed and well-traveled and cool. Like, he has this air of like someone who is knows that they're great. But yeah.
Yeah, Nigel Green.
Wow. The name of greatness.
Yeah.
Shout outs to you, Nigel. Love to you. He gets into a competition against Hylas, who is this wise little dude, not athletic at all. He wants to be part of the team.
Yeah.
And so he challenges Hercules. And Hercules is like, oh, okay. And he challenges him to discus. They have to toss. This competition takes place over money solo, which is pretty nice. And they've got to hit a big rock in the distance with their discus. And Herc goes first, and he hits the rock. No one's ever done it before, so of course, but Herc's like, oh yeah, I got it. And tosses his discus and gets it. And then bloody Hylas, Gareth, he skips his stone across the water and skips it over the rock. He's the smooth stone skipper, Gareth.
Oh, I was very excited. And I was like pretty stoked to see essentially discus being essentially frisbee.
Yeah.
To see how well frisbee syncs with some Pink Floyd as well.
Yes. The ultimate frisbee.
Like if there's a good frisbee movie, we should sync it.
Oh my god, I would love to do that. If someone can recommend a frisbee movie, please let me know. I don't know if any exist.
No, there's a documentary about a man whose last name was Frisbee, but not for us.
No, not unless he's tossing a frisbee for the movie. Like, am I interested? You know, I need that. Anyway, yeah. Well, I do like we also get a cutaway to Olympus for this competition, and the gods are just hanging out and watching it as if it's like on TV, which is very funny.
Yeah. Especially for it being an Olympic year now.
Yeah, right? They're just like all chatting
Very
about it at
relatable.
the water cooler, you know? Oh, that's good. Did you see Hylas? Whoa.
There's one god who doesn't have the right like TV subscription, and it's like, yeah, no, that sounds really good, eh?
Oh. Oh, man. It's just fucking Hades or something. Doesn't get reception in the underworld.
Yeah.
Brutal. Yeah. So then we go to commission a boat from Argus, who's this like shipbuilder guy who basically for the whole movie just wears like a diaper, like a towel wrapped around his like lower half, and that's just his costume for this entire movie. There's a lot of like old man nip being brought about by Argus throughout this movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And his incredibly even, strong tan and little white chest hairs. It was like visiting a great uncle with like very little shame and no like air conditioning in his house.
Yeah, man. He's just been building ships out here this whole time.
Yeah.
He's a very avuncular presence in this film. I love him. But yeah, he's a kind old dude. And in order to like not pay for the ship, I think, Jason says, we'll name the ship the Argo in honor of you. And Argus is like, oh shit, yeah. Heck yeah. And he also names the team the Argonauts for the same reason, which is cool. Yeah. What did you think of the movie Argo, Gareth? Pod within a pod. Have you seen it? What did you think?
I have seen Argo. Welcome to the Argo pod within the pod. Argo, didn't see it until it came out in 2013. I didn't see it until 2017.
Right.
And I thought it was pretty good.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty tense the whole way through, and like, yeah, it's for like a debut directorial film. I was pretty impressed. You know.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I have to say
I don't know
about
what
it.
to say. I remember. Yeah, pretty much. I remember there was a robot on the poster of it, and I was like,
What?
"Oh, there's a robot in Argo," and everyone was like, "No, there isn't." And then I don't recall there being a robot in Argo, so maybe I was looking at the wrong poster.
I think you were looking at the poster for Chappie, maybe.
Never forget.
The classic, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's no robot in Argo, but if you've seen the robot cut, let us know. All right, let's dip out of that pod within the pod and
A
go
second
back.
film about Argonauts, and I've completely forgotten it up until this moment.
Oh.
And this would have been perfect up top content, but it's flashing back to me like in Memento or the Bourne movies.
Oh, I like it.
I made my own Jason and the Argonauts film in intermediate school.
No way. What?
So I used a free animation software, which you use to make monochromatic stick figures. And you could like move their joints and stuff. It was completely silent. Pivot! It was... I'm pretty sure it was set to a Sum 41 song. And I would have burned it onto a floppy disk. So maybe my parents still have the floppy disk.
Oh my god.
All I remember is like every movement was really weird and smooth. And that I didn't like the golden fleece being dead. So it was just a living sheep. And the sheep was like massive. And yeah, I don't think I did very well in that project because I made it, I think, instead of a normal report on Jason and the Argonauts.
You just did a pivot instead. That's wonderful. Yeah. Oh my god. You just gave your teacher a floppy disk and they put it in there like, what the fuck is this? That's awesome. I would have given you full marks.
Oh, thank you. I don't think Pivot was that good, so I think she would have had to actually sync up the Sum 41 song with the Pivot animation as well. So, that was my first ever sync.
Yeah, the original Sync Floyd. Sync Floyd Origins.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Yeah, see? No one knew. No one knew when they skipped 15 seconds past our old man voices that they were going to get not only a full podcast about Argo, but the Sync Floyd origin story.
There you go. Yeah, this is what you got to stick around for, guys. Okay?
Yeah.
The good stuff only happens 30 minutes in. What are you?
Yeah.
44.
Hopefully 41 minutes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to cut back to this ship. The ship is well made. It's a pretty cool looking prop. Like, there's a nice sail with a ram's head on it, and we go. The weird thing about the ship, though, is that the figurehead's on the back, which is a weird choice. Not sure if this is true to the legend or not, or anything, or the mythology, but it's definitely a weird thing. But Hera is here as the figurehead looking over the boat, looking from the back over the boat. She's like this weird, like, puppet figurehead with moving eyes like a doll. You know when a doll's eyes, like, you know when you have one of those dolls and you position the head in a certain way and the eyes open, like that's what Hera's got going on. Besides this very weird thing on the back of the ship, I think this ship is really cool. So
yeah, it looks very nice. It's well painted. Which, I don't know, you probably don't need it to be well painted if it's hitting the ocean, but yeah, it's nice.
Anyway, well, it's important. But yeah, so I love that not Argo, what's his name? God, Argus says, like, "Are you okay with this? I know it's really weird." And Jason's like, "Yeah, I guess it's all right." And Argus is like, "Great." And then they set off the very next day. They're out there rowing, all the bros, the Argonauts. We get a montage going into us and them. And they're traveling for several days, and everyone starts getting real thirsty out here. There's a bit of discussion between Jason and Argus. And Argus is like, "You need to salt your hands with brine so that you can row the boat easier." Which is just such weird old uncle advice. It's very good. And Jason goes over to the figurehead and asks Hera about what's going on, what he can do. And she's like, "All right, help number 3 here." Basically, she also lets slip at this point that he was tricked by Pelias into going onto this quest. And he's like, bloody Pelias, he got me. And then, Hera says that if they continue on, they'll reach the Isle of Bronze, which is legend for Hephaestus forging the statues of the gods. So, like, giving the gods physical forms out of bronze, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, she says also, don't take anything other than provisions from the island because, yeah, it'd be bad if you do. And that's her helpful hint. And he goes and tells the lads that they're going to make landfall and gives them the rules and stuff. And Hercules is like, but what if I want to get laid on this island? And he's like, well, that would be against the rules, I think. I think you'll find Hercules. But anyway, that's what he's about.
Yeah, Hercules the bro.
Yeah, he's broing it up. He's on a boat full of dudes and he wants to be the dudiest dude, you know, right?
He wasn't paying much attention. He thinks they're on a stag do.
Yeah, basically. He's along for the ride. He's very excited. Wants to steal something from every location that they visit.
Oh yeah.
He's like, it's part of it. Anyway. Yeah. So they make landfall and on this island, and we see Hylas and Hercules hunt some goats, and they're bloody shit at it. For guys that can throw a discus really far, fuck, these guys can't catch a goat to save their lives. Hilarious.
I know.
Mate, where's the story of Hercules being bested by a goat?
He like slays that lion and, you know, goes to Hades and back, and then a goat just like looks at him funny and he falls off a cliff.
Yeah. Hercules humbled by a hooved, horned animal.
Ooh. That's the headline on your like godly gossip magazine.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Godly gossip is very good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Yeah. So they're trying to chase these goats, and then they stumble upon some statues, some huge statues that Hephaestus made of people. And there's one of Talos, who was one of the Titans that was slayed by the gods. In Greek myth, the Titans were before the gods, and yeah, they're either like the progenitors of the gods, like they gave birth to the gods, and then the gods killed them and took control, I think is the law. I don't really know. Very little information about the Titans.
Yeah, because Kronos kept having babies and then eating them. And then I'm pretty sure Zeus was the last baby, and I can't remember, either broke out and then broke all the other babies out. Which is simultaneously disgusting and adorable. Because I'm picturing them all coming out like a baby's day off kind of thing, like happy music playing.
Oh my god.
And then like trapped them all, and then they're the gods.
There you go. He's the original boss baby, Zeus. That's what they've always said.
Boss Baby 3 better be back in ancient times.
Yeah, I hope so. Boss Baby Origins.
Yeah.
The origin of a baby.
Boss Baby Myth Understanding.
Yeah.
No,
Myth Understanding is good. I like that a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god. But yeah, they're hanging out here. They go sneak into the base of the statue, which is this like treasure chamber. I do like that all the props in this room are like massive, like huge god-sized treasures. They pick up like a big pearl, and Hercules wants to take a brooch pin, and he's like, it will make a mighty weapon, as if he's some kind of like insane Greek borrower. Like, it's very funny. But yeah, so they go to take it and they get trapped in here, but Hercules uses his strongman power to bust his way out with this pin. But this angers and awakens Talos, the statue of the god, not the god, the Titan, and it comes to life and chases them. thoughts. This is the like first animated thing in here.
Yeah.
Talos is pretty cool looking, pretty impressive.
Yes.
It's all stop motion. And yeah, it's this like huge bronze statue. I do like the combination of playing with different scales in this movie, like these huge. It reminds me a lot of like how they did early Godzilla and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. It's like this is the film's special sauce, and you can tell like they built the whole film around these kind of set pieces, this beautiful stop motion. This is probably there's one at the end, obviously, but this might be my favorite of them.
Yeah.
This big guy just walking
It's an
along very
extended
jerkily in a
sequence.
way that syncs quite well with Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you think it's over and they got away, and then it's like, no, there's way more of this coming.
Yeah. It's he's pretty impressive, I thought. Like, and yeah, it's for a long time here. He comes out and is chasing all the men back to their ship, and they're like, fuck, get out of here. Everyone's trying to get away. And then, he reaches under this little, like, cove to try and grab at some people, and I think that looks really good. And then, they all get into the boat and start rowing their way out of the cove. But Talos just walks around the island very easily and cuts them off at the pass, and then just, like, plucks the ship out of the water. There's a great sync here, perfectly in time, with what happens is this. We're in brain damage, and the Floyds are singing "See You on the Dark Side of the Moon" as the giant reaches down and picks up the boat, and then a man screams just as we get the like after that, which is great.
Yes.
It's like he's in the chorus.
That's how Pink Floyd got that vocal.
Yeah, they just scared a man half to death with a giant. The best. But yeah, so the boat gets absolutely like destroyed in this instant. Jason is clutched onto the like creepy Hera figurehead in the water. It's just like, what the fuck? What do we do? And she's like, well, you shouldn't have fucked with Talos in the first place, but he's got a weakness. This is number 4. I'm pretty sure that I'm helping you, but just look to his ankles. And he's like, what? His ankles? And this will release the giant's ichor, which is gross. But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like combination David and Goliath and Achilles here, really. Where his weakness is the ankles, but you're toppling this massive giant. I don't recall this from any actual myths, but it could well be true. I don't know. But anyway, back on shore, they are trying to like all stand up and stuff. And they attempt to trick the statue into chasing all the boys away, who just sort of like gather around and like throw stones at the statue, very like impotently on the ground here. The statue like swipes at them as if they're like ants, basically. It doesn't give a shit. We go into playthrough 2 as Jason runs over and just uncorks this like weird plug that's on the ankle of the giant. I don't know. This looks so weird and janky. It really kind of undoes the majesty of this giant, and that it's got this weird like ankle plug. but yeah. He tears it off. And
it's like he's a giant bubble bath bottle.
Yeah, right? Oh, I hate it. Like, that's the seam from his manufacturer. It's like... Yeah. Anyway, he uncorks him, and then this, like, red goo just, like, gushes out of his ankle. It's gross. There is a cool shot of the Titan getting like covered in cracks like instantly because of this and like freezing.
Yeah.
Which is, I was like, whoa, it's a pretty wild effect. and then it like falls over. As it falls, Hylas runs out trying to like grab the spear, the brooch pin that Hercules dropped in fear because he ran away and dropped his spear.
Yeah.
And Hylas is like, oh, my friend Hercules dropped his spear. I better go get it. Runs out, grabs it, but gets crushed under this enormous giant. Like, yeah, it's very tragic. But we don't have time to think about that because we cut from this to a montage of boat building, which is like the weirdest cut.
Yeah. The director's like, but people got to see us rebuild this boat.
Yeah,
like that's the real emotional
Well, the
weight.
issue is they shot the next scene on the boat, and then they were like, "Oh fuck, we need boat building to happen." Oh, it's really bad. Anyway, so we get a very quick, rushed montage of boat building, and then there's a bit of an argument on board the ship as Hercules refuses to leave his friend. He rushes off to go in search of Hylas out here. He's like, he just basically can't accept that he brought Hylas to his death. He befriended him in that competition and they became very close. And then because of his like arrogance, Hylas dies, and it's tearing him up. Like it's like a really interesting character moment, honestly. And Hercules deals with it by like just striding off the ship, and like he's like, I will not leave this island until I find Hylas. Refuses to believe that he's dead in the first place. And it's very sad. Pink Floyd at the end of Breathe sing "Race Towards an Early Grave" as well as he's like striding away.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Looking to find an actual grave for someone who died early, which is like a fancy new read on it.
Very nice.
Way to go, Hercules.
Good job. The Argonauts are like, oh, we don't want to go on if Hercules isn't going. And then Jason's like, all right, let's settle this. I'll go talk to the weird figurehead for one more time. Hera's here, and she's like, you realize that this is number 5, buddy. Like, this is the last time I help. I do like that it is consistent because I was counting along, and she doesn't mention anything about, like, counting them until now. And I was like, this has to be number 5. And then she says, this is number 5. And I'm like, oh, good. Thank God. So, yeah, it's at least consistent. But, yeah, she says, Hylas he's dead. He's super dead, guys. He was crushed. Like, are we kidding here? You saw it. You saw him die. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, she's like, but it's all right. You can leave Hercules on this island because Zeus has other plans for Hercules. As it's like setting up for a Hercules story, you know?
Yeah, damn these modern movies, just trying to set up all their sequels and universes.
Right? Ugh, the extended universe of Greek mythology. It's always tricking us peasants, us pot-wielding peasants into buying more more scrolls, you know?
Every time you go to see the Oracle, you have to wait until the post-credit scene to find out what legend the Oracle will tell you next. It's just
you got to watch the credits be carved live into a wall as well. It takes fucking forever.
Oh my gosh!
And
all the cinematography's the same. It's just an Oracle.
Yeah, I've run out of popped corn by then. Yeah,
I have to wait till I can harvest
more corn from my field. Oh no. But anyway, so Hercules he's done. He's exit from the film, which I thought was a bit sad. But anyway, he's got more stuff to do, whatever. And then, so they set sail once more because everyone's like, oh, okay, I guess Hera says that the guy's dead and it's a fruitless quest, so let's go. So they head off. We cut from this to the Acropolis, what looks like the Acropolis, and there's just an old blind man here who's getting fruit delivered to his house. Original Uber Eats occurring here. But this guy is called Phineas, and he's being tormented by harpies, who are really bad claymation here. Having like airborne claymation figures, I feel like we weren't ready for. But yeah, they are
No.
they descend over the crash sound and on the run, coming in to attack Phineas.
Yes.
And they beat the crap out of him and like tear at his clothes and spill all his food. And Phineas is like cursing at Zeus because Zeus is the one who's punishing him every day in this manner. Presumably he's sending the people with the fruit as well, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he's like, tormenting him with these harpies because Zeus gave him the gift of prophecy, like he can see the future or something, and he abused it. He abused that power for his own gain, I think, in sort of a Biff Tannen kind of way. And then... was punished with this harpy-based punishment that happens every single day. I think
It'd be a pretty sweet gig for those harpies.
Yeah, they're having a grand old time. They get like a bunch of grapes and stuff. They get to mess with Phineas, this old blind dude. There's nothing like a harpy loves more. Yeah. Like, I fucking hate harpies, by the way.
I've come around to these harpies. What was that? Do you hate them?
I hate harpies in general. I think they're like one of the nastier fantasy beasts.
Oh,
Everyone underestimates
them. Is this our
them.
first fight?
Maybe.
Not me. I love them. I hear a harpy song. I am crashing my ship on the rocks.
I thought there was sirens. Are they the same thing?
Oh no.
Harpies are just like angry.
No, you pulled me out. I'm a fake fan.
Women.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Oh my gosh.
Oh well.
Oh no, the harpy community is gonna kick me out. I'm not gonna get to go to HarpyCon.
There's got to be a lot of screeching in your inbox.
Yeah.
No. These I dislike harpies mainly because they terrify me. Like they're too.
Yeah.
People think, harpies, they're going to be easy to deal with. Not so. They're scary. They can fly. They've got a piercing shriek. Oh, bloody can't deal with them. The worst. Hate to fight a harpy.
Yeah, I remember like looking at pictures of harpies as a kid and being like, they were always drawn inconsistently, like which parts were person, which parts were birds, and that never got to me. I was never a huge fan. That's why I thought they were sirens. Jeepers.
Yeah. Sad. I'm done talking about harpies, but I'm not really, because they are going to come up more. So
harpies are cancelled on the podcast.
Cancelled forever on the pod. Jason and the lads come in to like save Phineas. They come in and like a bit late, really. Phineas is already messed up, and Phineas is like, well, if you help me out with this, I'll defy the gods and just help. I'll tell you. I'll use my prophecy power to tell you anything that you want to know. And then Zeus like rumbles in the clouds, and he's like, shut up, Zeus. Screw you, dude. So the Jason's like, all right, I'll help. The Zeus hasn't been helping me, so it's fine. I got no beef with Zeus, really, but like this seems pretty unjust, so I'll help you out. They set a trap for the harpies. There's like a honeypot situation with Phineas in the middle of the Acropolis eating grapes, which, as we know, harpies cannot resist. They trap them in the Acropolis by dropping these huge nets on them. And they just get trapped in these big nets, basically, at nightfall. They put them in cages, and they're we get to see Phineas enjoying a meal for like unmolested for the first time in ages. He tells them that the way to get to the golden fleece and Colchis, I can't remember the name, something like that, is through the clashing rocks. And as we go into Great Gig, he's prognosticating that, and he's like, so you will never make it through there though, because no gods protect you, so you'll be screwed. And so he's like, I can do one last thing for you, and he gives Jason this little necklace of like a little pottery figure. Yeah, and it's like an amulet or whatever. Jason's like, oh, well, thanks for that. We're off. And he makes fun of the harpies in their little cages. Never goad a harpy. That's the rule.
No.
That's a mistake.
I would love it if as soon as they left, the harpies broke back out.
They started attacking Phineas. That's the real post-credit scene that we waited for. Just like Phineas immediately getting attacked again.
Yeah. Bye, Jason. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ah! They're coming
Jason, please, turn around.
He got what he needed. He's done. But yeah, the lads, that would be like Zeus as well, because he every time something goes right for these guys up in we cut back to Mount Olympus, he's always going like, yes, let them have fun for now. Yeah. Like, clearly the guy is like a jerk. Let them have their fun for the moment. I'll get to them. I'll figure it out. Yeah.
What a bleak attitude to have for your film.
Yeah, he's a bastard. Come at me, Zeus. I'm starting beef with you now.
I'm going to have the Harpy fans emailing. You're going to have Zeus himself and Russell Crowe emailing.
The same person. It's fine.
Yeah.
So they set sail towards the clashing rocks, which are these like two side-by-side cliff faces and like a narrow channel of water between them. It makes all the sailors pretty uneasy about how shallow this water is. And so they just pause for a little bit. And then in the distance, they see another ship who's coming the other way. So I don't know how traffic is going to work through this tiny channel. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. This ship's coming along, and then there's this like massive earthquake with all the rocks falling off the sides of the cliffs into the water, and the ship in the distance gets crushed and entombed in rock, basically, and sunk immediately. Pretty messed up. Yeah. So I guess they're clashing cliffs, like. I don't know. It's in the name. But yeah, so Jason's like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. And they forge on ahead. And they're like, well, it's going okay so far. But then suddenly it starts, the earthquakes start coming back. And the rocks are falling. And by the way, the ship, I forgot this earlier, but the ship that gets crushed apparently was Ulysses was on that ship. So they mentioned something about Ulysses. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But that's a bit of a weird one. Anyway.
Yeah. Again, they're just trying to set up more and more sequels.
Yeah, definitely. What's going on with him?
Yeah.
But yeah, Zeus is basically still pissed at Jason for defying the gods earlier with the harpy situation and going against him. And so, yeah, he's the one that's shaking these cliffs, threatening to crush them. And Jason's like, no, he's so frustrated. And he throws the little amulet that he was given into the water, being like, no gods are helping us. All the gods have forsaken us. Only for a god to answer the call. Because who should appear but Triton, the sea god, son of Poseidon.
Poseidon himself.
No, it's the son of Poseidon. So you know.
Oh my god. Did I even watch this?
I mean, in your defense, they're both like the exact same thing, really. Like, they're both god of the sea. It's just that one's
both old beardy man.
Yeah, old bearded dudes with fish tails and crowns. Like, they're exactly the same, except that one is the dad in The Little Mermaid. Like, that's the only difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I again love the casting of Triton here, who's just this like old portly looking dude with a crown, just holding these rocks. Yeah. Oh, he's great. I wanted more from him. He doesn't say anything. He just holds these rocks apart, letting them pass.
No, he's not even credited.
It's just like one man's like weird 1 hour in a pool for this movie. Oh my god.
Yeah. So you're saying this is going to be in a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
I just have to hold these rocks and I'm in a movie? Wow.
Cool. Okay. I'll get back to sweeping the studio after this. Oh. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, so they manage to get through. I've written powerful rowing over money solo past this fishy fella. In my notes. Oh. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Yeah, Hera and Zeus have like a little brief discussion about like, the gods are like acting out and helping each other, going against Zeus basically, and wanting to see what happens here. And yeah, they get through the rocks and everyone's like, oh, thank God. And then they manage to save some people that were drowning. The other ship that got crushed, there are some survivors. And they dive in and grab them. And it's Medea, priestess of Colchis here, who's just a hot babe, who's now aboard this ship of dudes. Yeah.
She's wearing lipstick in one shot, and it's like, that wasn't around.
Yeah, it's very like early cinema with just like this lady. I don't know. She's just so of the era. I like her a lot. She has been like, it's like she's been acting in these movies since they were in black and white. As the feel from her, I don't know.
Yeah, they're very black and white kind of stage presence.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe. Definitely.
But yeah, she's great. She just starts like lounging on the boat. She does a lot of lounging around. And there's a bit of interaction. Yeah, a bit of interaction between her and Jason. He's like, I'm seeking the king of Colchis. I'm going to ask him for the fleece and coming in peace. I don't want to take over like the Greeks are wont to do all of the time. And she's like, oh, cool. All right. I'm the priestess of Colchis, as you know. And we were out here making an offering to our god. But it obviously wasn't accepted because we got crushed. But yeah, they worship a ram-headed god because of the fleece. I've written down the name somewhere. I think it's Hecate or something like that.
That sounds right. I wrote down Gods of the Rocks and then wrote Pink Floyd, ?
Oh.
So your notes are smarter than mine.
Oh, I like that. That's good. The rock gods. Pay homage to the rock gods. We're going to get that very soon. Yeah. So yeah, the boat is closing in on Colchis. They're making its final destination here. And then Jason says, I'm going to go in alone. And all the Greek guys are like, what? We don't get to go in and kill anyone? Like, we did this whole contest proving that we were the best, most powerful Greeks. And we're not even going to, like, do our Greek thing and murder a bunch of people. What? That sucks. And, yeah, they basically wanted to conquer them. And Jason's like, nah, I'll go in peacefully and see how that goes. And Acastus is like, no, I'm sick of your shit, Jason. And he takes this opportunity to duel him here on the boat. they just get into a fight. We do get a shot of Medea just watching, but like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
A gross display of male bravado here out on the boat. And yeah, they have a big old fight where they are getting disarmed by each other over and over again. Like it gets using a spear or like a harpoon kind of thing at the end, and like prods Acastus off the edge of the boat. And yeah, they send he like it swims away, but they send a guy called Euphemus or I think his name is Euphemus, down to like chase after him, and we get a weird shot of like an underwater wrestling match taking place between Acastus and Euphemus, and then we cut back to the boat and Euphemus lies dead. It's like, he's dead. He died. And then they presume that Acastus also died because they get like a scrap of his clothes or something. It's very bad logic. But anyway.
Yeah. They clearly didn't get the footage they wanted from that underwater wrestling match, so they just kind of made do with what they could.
Yeah. It reminds me of the underwater shots from Jaws, but like not in a good way. It's just weird and messy. They had the technology for like good claymation tech and like interesting differing scales and things like that, but the underwater filming tech, not quite there yet.
Yeah. That's right. Clay gets wet, you know?
It's true.
Dissolves. You know, they couldn't take the clay underwater.
Yeah, turn to dust. Anyway, so they land on shore, and there's this weird bit that Medea comes and heals Jason's wound from this fight with a magical flower. Presumably, the presence of the Golden Fleece on Colchis grants a lot of the land like healing properties, and so this magical flower is used to heal, which is like, if you got this, you probably don't really need the fleece, right? If these magical flowers exist, like maybe take a couple of those back. I don't know, pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess fleece lasts longer than flower.
True. Travels better aboard a boat.
Yeah.
So they land, and we cut from this to like a weird performance taking place at the palace. There's an extended dance sequence with Medea, I realised only about halfway through here, painted all in gold.
Which can't have been healthy in the 60s.
No, definitely not. I'm expecting you to see her lying dead like this is... Goldfinger, or potentially Gold Member. I don't know.
Now, no one gets painted gold and gold. Nobody's whole body gets painted gold and Gold Member.
Oh, that's a real shame.
Yeah, just their members.
I'm disappointed by that. Just their members.
Yeah.
Just select members get painted gold.
Oh, wholesome Gold Member.
Yeah. Wholesome Gold Member. That's my new password. No, don't hack me. So there's a long dance sequence with Medea and like a bunch of lovely ladies here in front of the statue of the god, which is terrifying. This huge statue is like got 3 heads and looking in 3 different directions. The Colchis people have sort of a vaguely Egyptian feel to them. I don't really know where Colchis is supposed to be, even if it is, like, it's probably a real place that's changed names several times, but I don't really know what the connection is. I don't know, just their architecture sort of reminds me of Egypt. I don't really know why. But yeah, I'm not going to fact check it. It's too late.
Yeah. I doubt they did that much fact checking for this film.
Yeah, probably
Don't
not.
worry.
It's a pretty good performance. I thought the dancing was really cool. It's a nice fit for the floor.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. We go into like out of Us and Them and into Any Color You Like for like all of that, which is it's like quite long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got so infatuated with Media's performance that I was kind of hoping that instead of being Media, that she was the king, and it was some kind of sweet switch up. But no, unfortunately not, because only how did you describe him earlier?
Okay, Abraham Lamekin.
Yeah, here he is. I've got dude in a dorky beard. Like the beard looks fake. It's real bad. But yeah, he comes out and I'm immediately disappointed. And as I'm sure the people of Colchis are every time they see him.
I like that your idea for Colchis is that the best dancer becomes the king. Like that is should be the plot of Magic Mike 3. I love that a lot.
Magic Mike 3 Colchis.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then they go and see and they go, oh, this is my new religion. There you go. Yeah. So Jason comes forward and like introduces himself, and the King of Colchis is weirdly amicable. He's like, welcome. I hear you've done some great deeds in getting here, so we'll have a big old feast at my palace. And we go straight to that. Everyone's making merry here, surrounded by friends at Colchis, having a good time, having a feast, having a drink. And pretty much immediately, the king flips. He's just like, he just is talking to Jason, and then is just like, actually, screw you. We were tipped off that you were coming and got to steal the fleece, and so we lured you here to get all drunk and off guard, and now we're going to capture you. And they imprison them. And Media looks on like with a really shocked expression, like, oh no. And the king, in like speaking direct to camera, basically, is like, and who can we thank for helping us, for tipping us off? Why, it was Acastus of Thessaly, son of Pelias. And it's supposed to be this like huge twist, but we've known for forever that this is the case. So it's supposed to be this grand reveal, but it isn't. Like, we already know. Jason, we get a good shot of Jason's face being like, no, in sort of like a Darth Vader-y way. But yeah.
Shout out to Acastus's little like weird mini skirt toga he's wearing now to show that he's gone evil.
Oh, it's, traditional Thessaly garb. Yeah, real short. That's how the Thessaly do.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. Yeah, show off that leg.
That's what they fought the initial war for. More leg.
Yeah, more leg. It was a real battle of proprietary.
Yeah.
Propriety, not proprietary. Proprietary battle would be something different.
A lot of kicking.
Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Media doesn't agree with this decision by the king. And later on that night, she comes back to the temple and prays to the god there, Hecate, again. And she's like, oh no, what do I do? I'm in love with Jason. Because of course she is. She's met him like once a day ago. And she's in love with him. And she's willing to betray her father and her country to be with him immediately. Anyway, so she sneaks off to the dungeon. I think she's like a full outfit change here as well, which is great. And then sneak her like snooping gear, and like pinches the keys off a guard who's just fully asleep, like sleeping on stone, like a stone well or something in the center of the room. He's got his head on that and is just out cold. And we find out later that she's like supposedly drugged them, but I don't know how. We don't actually see that happening. These guys are just snoozing. I think it's a load of bullshit to protect the people of Colchis. It's just to like protect the ego of the king. But anyway, so she sneaks in and frees the boys. And yeah, she's like, I'm going to have to come with you on this quest now because I'm a traitor to my own land. And Jason's like, no, you have to stay. And she's like, no, I'm going to come with you. And then he's like, okay. And then they leave. It's a really weird sequence when he's just like denying her for no real reason. And yeah, they head off as we're in Eclipse. And yeah, the boys, the Greeks, rearm themselves from the prison, and then they go to the ship, prepare the ship to get away, and Medea and Jason go to get the fleece. And yeah, we cut from here to the palace with the king just wandering through. Everyone is fucking asleep here. Just strewn about the room like they're playing like Sleeping Lions.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. Yeah, just some snoozy folks at the feast. They gorge themselves and then they have to sleep. And then a guard comes in and is like, the guards were drugged. They've got away. Oh no! At the end of playthrough 2, and then yeah, the king like musters his men to chase after them. We see at the very start of Speak to Me in playthrough 3, we see Acastus sneaking up on the golden fleece. We see the fleece in the distance, and he's like, "Oh, he's going to get it." And then as we finish Speak to Me, we see Jason in the exact same shot. So he's a song late, really, showing up here. We don't really know what's happening to Acastus in the interim, but because we just sort of see like Jason running up and then arriving in the same shot. And as he goes up to approach the fleece, the Hydra appears, a fearsome claymation monster. I like the Hydra's presence here. It's not very convincing as a monster, but it is cool. The design of it, it's just got the heads and like a body, no real arms or anything to speak of. Just a big tail and like 7 heads.
Yeah, very wiggly. A great way to use that like claymation kind of jerkiness by just lots of wiggles.
Yeah. Briefly want to shout out Dark Souls 1, by the way, a video game that I'm pretty sure was inspired by this movie because it has a Hydra in it that looks pretty much exactly the same as this one, like the same kind of design. So yeah, since I hadn't seen this movie before playing that game, I was like, oh shit, that's like what this is from. That's really cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to shout out, I believe it was called Skull Monkeys, which was a claymation video game for the PlayStation 1.
Oh.
I believe that was it, and it was dope. And it was claymation.
Okay. Oh. Sweet.
Yeah. It's kind of...
I remember the only other claymation video game that I've heard of was The Neverhood. Did you ever play that or hear of that?
Oh, I think Skull Monkeys was the sequel to The Neverhood, according to this Wikipedia article I quickly... Oh, I'm thinking of The Neverhood as well. Forget Skull Monkeys. Heck yeah.
Man, get dunked. Yeah, The Neverhood was this like really, really weird game, like a point and click game, but it was all claymation. Very well done. It gave me nightmares as a child, as many things did. But it was, on revisiting, it's a pretty wild game, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gosh, looking at the art for The Neverhood reminds me, because we didn't have the game, so we'd go to a family friend called Jono's house, and he had it, and his mum would make us sandwiches where she'd use butter instead of margarine, and I can taste the butter just looking at the artwork of The Neverhood. So, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Strong sense memories. Amazing.
The weird thing is, like, 40 years from now, I'm going to remember what I've eaten while I was deep in my Pink Floyd as well, if I ever hear Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not, because it'll be like a huge amount of your life, like
Yeah,
a whole year. You know, like it'll be this like medley of food at that point.
I'm going to put that in my calendar
A
to,
feast.
depending on what happens with the show, 20 years from now, we're recording another episode where our old selves check in on Pink Floyd.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Confirm if clowns became popular, which was our other prediction. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. The big clown resurgence. Forgot about that. I like that. Everyone dresses as a clown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like after Joker, I don't think that's got a very good connotations.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We need a reverse Joker to happen at some point.
Yeah. A reverse Joker, making clowns okay again.
Yeah, exactly. And then a reverse It called T.
Oh, I can't handle that. Oh my god.
And the reverse Joker is called
Anyway.
Ricochet. Anyway, yeah. Pink Floyd.
Ricochet. Yeah. Pink Floyd. Yeah, so there's a big battle with the Hydra. It's pretty easy as a fight because it's not kind of lumbering. It just snaps at Jason a lot with its many mouths, not really getting very close. Jason's move fighting it is also pretty poor. He just sort of swings his sword around wildly from side to side, deflecting attacks from this Hydra. But it's like, I don't know, neither of them are using very good tactics here in this fight. And the Hydra goes down very easily outside of Greek myth as well. Like, the thing about the Hydra is that if you cut off its head, two more sprout in its place, is the idea. It's this, like, terrifying, undefeatable beast because it will just get more powerful the more you try and fight it. But it turns out, if you stab it once in the neck, it'll just go down immediately. Like, it was very unsatisfying seeing this Hydra like flail about with a sword in it, being like, and then just die.
The Hydra
to a single sword hit.
The Hydra is like, there was a character from like old Conan O'Brien sketches who had like bulletproof shins, and then he just got shot anywhere else and he died.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the Hydra, an old Conan O'Brien character.
Yeah, I got very annoyed at this Hydra. Honestly, I was like, such a waste. It's killed so quickly and easily. When someone put in so much work making it look really cool. Yeah. But anyway,
because the Hydra was. I was torn up. I wanted us to do a Ray, Harryhausen claymation movie. And I was really torn between this and the original Clash of the Titans. And I chose this mainly because of its Hydra. And then the Hydra, kind of sucks.
Barely in it. It's all right. It's about to be redeemed very soon. So we're okay.
Once that Hydra smiles.
Oh, man. We are 4 minutes from glory. The Hydra is dead, and Acastus is also quite dead, hanging out in the corner. He's been crushed to death by the Hydra and its tail. And Medea goes to check on him, and she's like, "Yep, he's dead." And a few of the bros come back from the ship. They were like, "We heard you were fighting a Hydra," and they just come back and grab the fleece from the tree. Which, as soon as they grab it, it stops glowing on screen for budget considerations, I presume.
I thought it's lost its magic, and it totally didn't.
No, it's just in use. It's not in use at the moment, so may as well not be glowing, I guess. It's just like a sheep rug at the moment. The guards and the king close in on the scene, and they're like chasing these guys up the side of a mountain. Like they're seeing some guards. When the king goes over to the Hydra, and he prays to the god Hecate again here, and his prayer is metal as hell. He says, Hecate, Queen of Darkness, summon the children of the Hydra's teeth.
Oh, yes.
The children of the night. And he's just screaming into the sky. And meteors descend and hit the Hydra, which erupts into flame as the crash sound and on the run occurs. I was ecstatic in this moment. And the king is just standing there as the Hydra burns in front of him. And then it turns into a Hydra skeleton. All the flesh is burned away. And then he just gets some of his, like, peons to run over and collect the Hydra teeth, which is so good. He's like, go, go. And he collects them in a helmet. Anyway, so they're running up the hill. Jason and the remaining Argonauts and Medea are running away. And as they crest the top of the hill, Medea gets shot in the back by an archer and goes down. And they're like, oh, fuck. And then they cover her with the fleece because it has healing properties. And it pulses with this, like, golden glow healing her and bringing her back to life. And she just looks real snug and happy under that fleece. Just having a grand old time. Yeah. But yeah, she comes back all stoked. This is another side effect of the healing, is that it just makes you all happy. And yeah, so the king, while this healing is happening as well, the boys are just like trying to hold the guards off by like hurling rocks unceremoniously onto the heads of the guards below, which is very funny. But yeah, as they're moving to get away, the king appears at the top and stops everyone. He's like, holds his guards back, and he's like, all right. He walks forward, and then he just starts tossing Hydra teeth from reaches into the helmet and tossing them about haphazardly, like the world's weirdest lolly scramble is taking place.
Yes.
It's like, it's fucking weird. The Argonauts are looking on so confused as to what is happening. It's very funny. But yeah, Medea and Argus like run off to the ship together to safety, and the three remaining lads here, including Jason, prepare for battle, prepare for whatever's coming. And what should come but 7 skeleton warriors burst from the earth. They are introduced like one by one as if they're like wrestlers cutting a promo. It's awesome. I'm ecstatic in this moment. I'm like shouting at my screen.
They're so good. They're so like jerky and weird, and like you can see every seam really of how they're made, but I love them for it.
They're fantastic.
It is how a skeleton so they all would act as well, because like I remember having this big deep when I was like 13, probably just finished making my Jason and the Argonauts animation. I remember like I think I woke up in the night and I was like, a spooky haunted skeleton won't be able to move itself. It doesn't have muscles. No. And I had to think about that for like way too long. And yeah, it would move like it's being puppeteered, I guess, by like whatever spirits within it. So spot on. Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they do that. They do that exact thing. They start walking very, very slowly, like jerkily. Yeah. So slow. And they're like freaking out, the Argonauts. They're just sort of like watching on as Pink Floyd sing "Shorter of Breath and One Day Closer to Death" as we're in time. And yeah, they just like after they freak them out sufficiently, they just break into like a frenzied run. And then they do battle against these skeletons, and honestly, it looks great. Like the animation here with like matching up both claymation and real life actors would have taken a ton of work on location out here. Like, it's crazy how well this works. It would have taken fucking ages matching these skeletons up. Like,
I wonder
if you got the wrong footage, you would have to redo this. It's insane, the amount of work that went into this.
I wonder if they had someone on set, like a motion graphic-y kind of person that they like painted out or something.
Yeah, I think it would have been like this whole fight was very carefully orchestrated. Yeah. Like the choreography for it would be like all thought out, like very much like The Matrix, actually. Like where they just plan every hit and what each character is going to be doing in each moment. I think that's the only way you could do it. It's very good. Yeah, it's awesome. And also the battle like rages all over the top of this mountain. It's like upstairs and over cliffs and things like that. Like whoever thought to set dress this like really thought about this battle, and it looks fucking great. Like this is the coolest part of the movie, and it happens with about 2 minutes left in the runtime.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And I was
that you have
so
to wait
nervous
for the whole
because
movie.
so long they spend, he's throwing his weird little lolly scramble of teeth, and then they're all just like staring at the ground and like licking their lips in terror. I was like a little worried that it was just going to end before the skeletons showed up, and that I'd been lied to.
That you'd accidentally like found a version of this movie that just has no ending. Like it just gets cut off, and you're like, what? Cut off before the skeletons.
They've edited them out. It's a version called Jason and the Argonauts. No bones about it.
Oh no, the worst. Oh, never do this. Never cut skeletons from a film.
No way. It'd be hard because all the actors would be real mushy because you've removed their skeletons.
Exactly. This is a sludgy film. You don't want that.
My one disappointment is with this fight that rages all over the cliff. They jump into the water and you don't get to see the skeletons swim.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome.
Right?
Again, clay and water though. Like that's why they just hit the water and instantly dissolved.
Yeah, the paint
falls. It was the last shot of the day.
Yeah. You do see them kind of fall apart though, and all their bones go flying, which I did really like.
Yeah, very good.
I love them.
It's a great fight. If you have to like skip all of this movie and you want to watch like the best bit, this is it. It's fucking awesome. It's great. But yeah, I could watch just skeleton warrior fights, I think, for the entire runtime of the film. But
surely
anyway,
like Adult Swim or something, or the Netflix can put together. Again, we're begging Netflix for specific content just for the two of us. But like a half hour or like even 15-minute show where it's just claymation skeletons would be so cool, and it'll match everyone's 2021 vibes. It'll be so good. Please.
The content I crave. Release it for Halloween.
Yes.
Come on.
Speaking of Halloween releases, I do some Scully news. What was his name? I found out the guy's name.
Scully news.
Home Depot decorative holiday merchant Lance Allen has confirmed that the 12-foot skeleton will be on sale at Home Depot this Halloween season.
Wonderful. Yeah. He was the highlight of last year, honestly, that big skeleton and all of his antics. Yeah. Just loved him, lording it over the neighborhoods of America. What a great time.
You'll be able to buy Christmas outfits for him as well to keep him up all year.
I mean, once he's up, you're not taking him down, right? Like, he's a lot of work.
Where are you going to store him?
My favorite thing about it is that so many people now have the same problem that I have, in that they have an enormous skeleton in their house that they just have to take care of. Like, that's so funny to me, because that's something that I've been dealing with since I think like 2011. And now, like, a lot of Americans also have an enormous skeleton that's a problem for them when they have to move. Like, that's so good.
I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to explain it to the listener because I love the idea that you're complaining about the skeleton in your body being enormous.
Oh, it's just too big for me, man. Like, it's just ridiculous. My fingers are poking out the end of my hands. It's just a problem when I'm trying to move.
Finally, more Americans
ambulate.
also have huge skeletons.
Yeah. Finally, you know my pain.
Oh man, I'm trying to find some more skeleton news for you. I went to sapiens.org and a big thing popped up, like to try to get me to join the newsletter that said, "Are you a human interested in other humans?"
Whoa!
Oh, so shout out to sapiens.org.
They found my dating profile, man. Anyway, we've got like 30 seconds left of film left now. The boys, they basically head home for Thessaly, but like as far as Hera's concerned, the quest is done. Like even like though they have to go all the way back, like she's like, "Yep, I win. Suck it, Zeus." And Zeus is like, no, the game's not over. I'm not done with Jason yet. There's more to come, obviously, and Jason and the Argonauts too. And yeah, I want it to say to be continued, but it does say the end on screen, as we just see like Jason very passionately kissing Medea in the pool of Olympus there. And yeah, we aren't even halfway through Great Gig at the end here of the third playthrough. But yeah, no real syncs to speak of for the end of the film.
Not at all.
But what did you think, and how did it sync?
I mean, I could tell you what I thought, but in 1992, in honouring Ray Harryhausen with a Lifetime Achievement Award, someone said, "Some people say Casablanca or Citizen Kane. I say Jason and the Argonauts is the greatest film ever made." And do you know who said that?
Who?
Pink Floyd's enemy, actor Tom Hanks.
No!
I know, we've been betrayed the whole time.
Fuck. God damn. Well, he tricked me. This is like when Jason found out about bloody, what is his name? Perius? Fuck. What was his name?
Augustus.
Pylius.
Oh, yeah.
No. Peleus. When he found out that he'd been the guy all along. Oh, God damn it. Bloody Tom Hanks at it again. Well, that's thrown my whole score out of whack. I don't know
whatever
what
number
to do
we're
now.
going to draw, we're going to have to draw it upside down on the graph now.
Okay.
Completely messed up. So... But I'll say this movie didn't get a 6 or a 9, so it shouldn't be a huge...
We should be sweet then.
I will say...
Yeah, I think it's...
What were you going to say?
I think it's below both of those in terms of syncs. Not a high amount, really.
I would say...
There was some, but like...
The joy of seeing someone grow younger, put a hat on, grow giant and vanish to Great Gig in the Sky does put it up quite high for me. And the comet hitting a Hydra during the crash of On the Run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could give it... Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say about the Hydra bit again. That reminded me so much of the like rose catching fire bit in Krull as well. Just too many things happening in such a short amount of time. Oh,
it's definitely...
I love it. Anyway,
Krull, is this movie... Krull is the movie this movie's girl says don't worry about. Like, Krull is...
Yeah.
Watch the skeleton scene and then just watch Krull and you've had a better afternoon.
You're right. That's the correct viewing method, absolutely, yeah.
So why don't we give it 2 skeletons less than Krull. I think we gave Krull a 6, so let's give it a 4.
So 4? Yeah. Down with it. Makes sense. Yeah. I like it. Upside down 4 on the graph.
Upside down 4.
Yeah. Put it on there. So next week, Gareth, keeping it in a similar realm as we did this week, but I want to open the book and figure it all out, right? I want to explore the secret subtext of this podcast that's been happening for a long time.
Okay.
Outside of the show, I've been sending images. We send images to each other just to make each other laugh a lot. And I've been drawing a lot on a certain property that has, until now, I don't think it's been mentioned on the show, but we're ready to bring it to the forefront and see how it syncs.
Like
with
bringing
Pink
our
Floyd,
own
'cause we're gonna
skeletons out of our bodies for everyone to see.
Yeah. We're getting the skeletons out of our closet and airing them out for all to see, and it's going to be the Gumby movie
Yes.
next week, which I am excited about.
Now, we actually have talked about Gumby on the show, and this might flip you and make you change your mind again. The only reason, because I'd never heard of Gumby until we watched Big starring Tom Hanks, and there was a big Gumby chair in it. And that's how I learned about Gumby. So if you're okay with Tom Hanks being our tour guide through the stars again.
Orchestrating yet another part of the podcast, puppeteering us all from the get-go. I'm fine with it. I want to see what's going on with Gumby enough that I'll let Tom Hanks guide my hand once more. But yes, so look forward to that on the podcast. Maybe the season finale of this show is us actually fighting Tom Hanks. I don't know,
just one-on-one combat. You can hear the audio of Tom Hanks murdering us.
We duel on a ship and he kills both of us. Yeah.
Deal.
That makes sense. Okay.
Until then, I've been the soon-to-be late Gareth Blackler.
I've been the enormous skeleton of James Barron.
And just get your bones over to Twitter and Facebook and Letterboxd to follow Sync Floyd. And again, thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon, baby, baby, yeah.